we have a highly open economy, which means that international transactions are particularly important for us, and not just important, but essentially they are extremely crucial. But as we all know, cross-border payments face quite many obstacles because they are oftentimes very slow, expensive, and legally complicated as well. However, here I think I could say that we are facing now quite a big digital revolution, because technologies such as blockchain, cryptocurrencies, central bank digital currencies, they are gaining more and more space, and this way they are transforming how money moves across the borders. And my aim today is to show how Hungary is dealing with these challenges, not just legally, not just in a legal sense, but also technologically and strategically. Now, moving on, why this matters to Hungary, why this whole topic is relevant here. As I mentioned, we are a small country, but we have a very open economy. Actually, exports make up about 80% of our GDP, which is a very, very high percentage. And this means that in Hungary, especially for firms, for enterprises, especially for smaller and medium-sized enterprises, these cross-border transactions are very, very important, and even more important for them to be efficient and affordable. And of course, we also have a large number of individuals who are transferring money, receiving or sending money abroad, be it for educational or business purposes. So for this reason, efficiency and the security of cross-border payments is very crucial. And the key question is, can these innovations that we are trying to make here make these transfers cheaper, faster, and safer, while at the same time staying compliant with the financial regulations. So really, this is the key question. And as for the legal framework, generally, I can say that our legal framework in Hungary is strongly shaped by the European Union. So on one hand, we are following the EU rules, and on the other hand, we have our own laws, our own acts, but of course, in accordance with the EU laws, with accordance with the EU institutions. At the EU level, we have the Payment Services Directive and the Anti-Money Laundering Directive, which govern cross-border transactions. And when it comes to Hungary's own laws, we have the Act on Credit Institutions and the Act on the Prevention of Money Laundering. So these are the acts which implement the EU rules. And when it comes to oversight, it is, of course, carried out by the Hungarian Central Bank. So this means that banks are aligned with the European and international standards, such as the Financial Action Task Force recommendations and the rules of SWIFT as well. But of course, challenges remain, because technologies such as blockchain and central bank digital currencies, they do not easily fit within these existing legal frameworks. So for Hungarian regulators, it is particularly difficult to keep up and to align with these international standards. Now, when it comes to transparency and compliance, these are key obligations for financial institutions in Hungary as well. Banks must follow strict know your customer and anti-money laundering procedures, and every single transaction can be monitored for suspicious activity. And this, I think, definitely helps to build trust, but it has a downside, because this gives more complexity for both banks and customers, because for banks, compliance costs are significant, and the downside for individuals is that this makes basically slower transactions. Now let's move on to fees and taxation. Within the EU, Hungary participates in the SEPA system, so of course transfers in euros are usually faster, of course, and cheaper, or even in some cases free. But when it comes to non-SEPA currencies like British pounds or US dollars, the fees are much higher, especially due to the conversion fees, the conversion costs. And in addition, Hungary has a special bank tax, and this is 0.5% special bank tax, which applies to cross-border payments. And this was introduced in 2013. And it applies to both domestic and cross-border payments. And unfortunately, this makes these cross-border payments even more expensive for Hungary compared to many other European countries. For example, so it's a 0.5% special bank tax, and this means in practice that if, for example, a Hungarian customer transfers 1,000 euros abroad, then this 0.5%, which means in the case of 1,000 euros will be 3 euros. It will be added to the cost of the transaction, and this is charged on top of the normal bank fees. So definitely it makes these transactions even more expensive, and this is particularly hard for smaller and medium-sized enterprises. Now let's see the innovative solutions in Hungary, so what the future might bring, because fortunately innovation has taken root here as well, and it most likely will bring changes in the financial sector. Here I would like to highlight mostly blockchain solutions, blockchain-based solutions, cryptos, and central bank digital currencies. Several banks, such as the OTP Bank and MKB Bank, are experimenting with blockchain solutions. When it comes to cryptos, cryptos are not banned in Hungary, so anyone can buy or sell cryptos. However, they are subject to very strict anti-money laundering monitoring. So in practice, this means that all customers have to be identified under know your customer requirements, and every suspicious activity has to be reported to authorities. And since 2022, the taxation of crypto profits has been clarified with a 15% personal income tax. So just to give an example, if someone buys, for example, Bitcoin for 1,000 euros and sells it later for 1,500 euros, then there is 500 euros profit on this. And this 500 euros profit will be taxed at 15%, so that gives 75 euros in tax. And we have this since 2022, so this I think I can say that this provides clarity, and it encourages legal and more transparent use of crypto in Hungary. And then there is the digital forint project, which is launched by the Hungarian Central Bank, and so we are actively experimenting with digital forint as well. And I think it's very interesting because a few years ago, the Hungarian National Bank has launched a mobile application, and it was specifically made for high schoolers, for teenagers between the age of 20 and 16, 17. So it also served educational purposes. And via this app, the Hungarian National Bank tried to test particularly the technology behind this digital forint. And as far as I know, it was quite a success. So we have these kinds of pilot projects, so to say, as well. And yes, so definitely these innovations show great promise, but they also raise big questions, because the question remains how all these will be regulated, because technology has really moved a lot further, but unfortunately legal regulations are lagging behind. So definitely we'll see in the upcoming years how they will be regulated. And some thoughts on Hungary's strategy and global trends. Now, what is our overall strategy? I can say that the National Bank of Hungary has taken a balanced approach. This means that we are encouraging digital innovation, but at the same time, we remain quite cautious. And I say this particularly regarding crypto assets, cryptocurrencies. Furthermore, Hungary aligns itself with the EU's digital financial package, and as I mentioned, will most likely integrate the digital forint in the future as well. And there is also a growing cooperation which could have been observed within the Central European and Eastern European region on fintech and digital payments. So I think the trend is quite clear. We can absolutely say that Hungary is moving toward a more digital, integrated, and a more innovative cross-border payment system. And to summarize, we can say that Hungary's legal framework when it comes to cross-border transactions is strongly EU-aligned, strict on compliance, but still moving towards innovation. But key challenges remain. These are, for example, high fees for non-SEPA payments, cybersecurity risks, and the integration of the incomplete regulation, the lack of regulation for digital assets. However, at the same time, I think opportunities are quite clear. We can see this through these pilot projects the Central Bank of Hungary is conducting, and there is a vibrant fintech sector, and there is the presence of blockchain as well. So definitely, I think most important would be to find the right balance, and essentially the balance between security and efficiency, and all this without holding back innovation and technological advancement. And this was the presentation from my part. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm also open to your questions and comments, so probably we can move to the discussion part.